Hey friends, Brandy here. I just thought I would hop on and give you a new little channeled message before I head into work for today. So, real quick, if you have never been here before, I'm Brandy Fleck. I'm a Reiki healer, I'm a trauma informed coach. And when I'm not coaching or doing Reiki sessions, I'm also the director of a new spa that's local to where I live. And it's actually, we call it a boutique spa, but it is quickly transforming into a holistic wellness center. And I am helping to guide and grow that effort. So it's so much fun. So, just so you know, I love wellness. I love health. It's one of my really high core values, and I consider myself a healer. I'm also host of the Human Amplified podcast, which you can see on this channel. And if you want to learn a little bit more about me, I would encourage you to dig through the very old archives of the podcast and check out episode number 1. And I think it's number 19. Either way, the second one I just told you about, the title is Death Brings New Life. So I am not actually that person anymore, but that will give you some context of my history around my own personal trauma and healing that I've been through, and a little bit of guidance into my lifelong spirituality and connection with my guides and angels. So today's message is really cool because it's from the angels. And it doesn't happen very often, at least so far, where I find out who I'm channeling when I'm actually channeling. And that happened in this message. And so after I give you the channeled message, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I dug into who is actually giving me this message and what I discovered. And it feels so right. It really resonated. So the way it started was I was in my waking state early yesterday morning, and in my mind's eye, I saw a card. It was either a tarot or an oracle card pulled, and it had the message on it, order, in all capital letters, just ORDER, order. And I thought, that's simple, but it's actually not so simple. And after I started thinking about it and I woke up, which, by the way, when I was sort of in the dream, sort of waking state, I was lucid, and I told myself, remember this. And so I did, and I wrote it down in my journal, which you'll see me use quite a bit in these types of videos. I then went to work, had one of the longest days of work I've had in a long time. And then when I came home, I sat in my little meditation space and opened up to the guides. So here's what happened. I said, guides of the highest good, what does that mean for the collective that will see our video? Order. What does that mean? And then very suddenly, information just started flowing. And as I channeled it, I heard it, I wrote it down. And as I was writing it down, I remember my consciousness creeping in a little bit. And I'm thinking, this is wild. Like, I was almost in disbelief, but it ended up being really powerful. So I will just start the channel message and read for you what I wrote down in response to that question. The sequence of events of how things happen, unfold before you were born in time, yet also in front of your path in space. You see, before you has multiple meanings, and all are to be taken. Take, yet we tell you to receive. Receive all the blessings that are before you. Mind over matter. Mind your business in what seems like a minefield. Yet it's not. It's divinely planned, that which is unfolding before you. Be amazed. Yes, angels of the light we are. We are here for you. Talk with us. Be with us. All is well, well as in healthy, and well as in a deep reservoir of water, liquid, the depths of which take shape of its container, the earth. She has fire, she has water, she is adaptable and flexible in her healing. You are part of it, of her. Recede like the water right before the swell which comes. Ride the wave. If you get caught in the tide, swim parallel to the shore. You see, there are multiple ways to ride it out and come out unscathed. Do you force the wave to not wave? You cannot. You must let it take natural order according to the earth, but it doesn't have to hurt. Go with the flow as you say. And then in my mind, I asked the angels of the light, what will going with the flow get us or do? And they continued, it takes steady strength and calm on your part. We refer to the wave of energy you feel. More is coming. Bear it, withstand it, integrate it, use it to your advantage. You are strong and calm. You have what it takes. And then I interjected and asked them, takes to what? And they continued, to be here now and spread to others what is needed. Order. Order up, order over, order through. Does not chaos create order and vice versa? Understand this. Your place in the world is a powerful one. Divine order. Do not let the perceived power of others convince you otherwise. So that's the message. Short and sweet, but really packed densely with information, which maybe we should unpack here in a minute. The energy of this message was pretty fast as it was coming through. I was a little surprised at it, and my nervous system didn't overreact or anything like that. I was able to channel it pretty calmly, but by the end of it, I was getting a little distracted and decided I needed to stop. It also felt like the end of the message, so I decided to research a little bit who the angels of the light are, and it led me to learn more about the Ophanim order of angels or choir of angels. A lot of what is out there about the Ophanim that I could find is biblically based from Ezekiel and his vision of the Ophanim, which terrorized him. I think he was very scared of the vision because they are one of the highest orders of angels closest to God, and sometimes they're described as the wheels of God's throne or chariot, from what I understand. In Catholicism, these angels are often referred to as thrones, but I'm going to refer to them as Ophanim because that really resonates with me. The Ophanim they work with the cherubim and seraphim, which are also the higher orders of angels. I guess I'm using that word correctly. I'm not an angelologist, even though I've always had a very strong connection with angels, but it's typically been my guardian angel and the archangels, like Raphael, for example. I really have a strong relationship with them. So I was very surprised to see the depictions of the Ophanim, which are the wheels within wheels that have eyes all over the rims, and they can move forward while they're rotating in harmony, and there's a big eye in the middle, and there are wings, I believe. In some depictions I saw wings, so I didn't get a sense of what these angels looked like as I was channeling them, but when I learned about the Ophanim, I was like, that's them. They are the angels of the light. Their job is divine order, to help it come to fruition, to move forward. I say forward because we are coming from a perspective of linear time here in the earth plane, but it might not be forward in their plane because they are rotating in all the different directions while they are moving. They're moving in so many different dimensions, okay? It's fascinating. And I felt very honored that this is a message from the Ophanim. I've never spoken to them before, at least if I have, I did not know that. So an interesting little tidbit. Maybe they will come through more from now on. That would be super cool. I would love to hear your take on the channeled message and what parts of it resonate with you. Of course, if some of it did not resonate with you, you do not have to take it. For the parts that did resonate with you, go ahead and leave a like, leave me a comment, tell me what it did for you. Even as I was reading it back, I felt the energy surge back up, and there was some really interesting metaphors in there that I would love to dig into. So let's do that next. And as I unpack my interpretation, maybe you have a different interpretation, or maybe it applies to your life in a different way, or maybe there is a lot of alignment there. I can't wait to see. So, my human interpretation of this message is something that I say quite a bit, and it's that things have to bubble up or swell in order to be dealt with. They have to be acknowledged in order to be dealt with. And I think that especially in the US right now, with all of the changes taking place in the what some would call leadership of the country, there has been a massive shift in energy, and there has been a lot of incoming energy that we are all dealing with in different ways. It feels different already. Okay. Lots of things are changing extremely quickly, and there's a lot of fear in a lot of cases around that change, but there's also a lot of hope for a lot of people around that change. And I think what the angels are saying is that if you are on the side of fear, to not fear, because there are ways to ride the wave, but the wave is coming regardless. So, in relation to order and divine order, that what is happening right now on the earth plane is part of divine order. Whether you want to call that part of the ascension process, depending on if you're in spiritual circles or whatever language you use, it's meant to happen. We all agreed to be here right now at this time in human history, in the earth's evolution and in human evolution, in order to ride this wave and evolve according to God or source's higher plan. Okay. And something that I've been curious about is, in a lot of spiritual circles, you hear the term soul contract. And so we all create plans for our own human lives as before we incarnate down here onto earth. And I would love to learn more from my guides or the angels. They might be one and the same, about how those soul contracts coincide and all feed into the larger plan. And I'm of the belief that we are all one. Obviously, we are experiencing separateness on some level here on earth, but we are all part of God. God is all part of us. We are all connected to each other. We are one organism as a human race, each individually cells in the body of the larger organism. So how does that all interplay, our soul path, our soul contract into God's divine plan? And I'm referring to him as God because in the research that I'm doing about the Ophanim, or the angels of the light, it is their job to roll out God's plan. And those are the semantics that are used when I've been doing my research, but you might resonate more with source. And I believe that there is a way to look at this message through the lens of Christianity, but also through the lens of other vantage points, not even necessarily religion. And maybe through the lens of being a creator, you can relate to knowing what it's like to be a creator. And oftentimes when you create, you have a plan, and then what comes out on the other side, or what you manifest or create, like say a piece of art or a song, might end up being even better than what your plan was, or it might end up being completely different than what you had first envisioned that it would be. But either way, all of the steps in the journey to get to that final creation were meant to unfold the way they were, so that the creation that came to be was exactly what it was meant to be. And so I guess what I'm saying is that there is some amount of order in creation, and there is also some amount of chaos in creation. And I think that's what the angels of the light were talking about, is the act of creation honoring that act of creation and trusting that when you honor that process and the journey, even if it seems scary, like a big swell of a wave, that it doesn't have to be, and that you can trust that it's all going to be okay. In the end, we're going to get to the destination that we are meant to get to according to Creator's efforts. Okay? According to Creator's creative process. Because life and creation doesn't always go to plan, even though there is a plan. So there seems to be a lot of contradictions, but it all really does fit together. Chaos and order are all part of creation. And if you're a creator, you know what I mean. Okay? Maybe we can go even deeper on that some other time. And ultimately, I think that the ultimate message here, the most important part to take away from this, is that you as an individual do have sovereignty. You do have your own power. No one can actually take it from you. Remember that. You have the ability to transmute the energy that's coming in and whatever is happening to use to your advantage. They said, we refer to the wave of energy you feel. More is coming. Bear it, withstand it, integrate it. And to me, integrating it means heal it. Use it to your advantage. So this energy can be fuel for your creative process, and you get to help shape the world into what it will become. We are in a pivotal moment where it is becoming something different than what it was. And that's pretty cool. So I'll leave it at that. Again, I would love to hear your take on some of this message, and I'll see you next time.